Okay. Well, it's been a while since I've had a opportunity to do any sort of videos like this. Check out this parking lot first. I'm in a car accident. So let's talk a little bit of WWE, a little bit of AEW. So MJF, the champion we deserve. We deserve better. Love it. I think it's great. Ends up being one of those guys that I think that with the right amount of tutelage here and there, he is undeniably the future of the industry. Great heel. Thought his promo was good. Been done before, but he did a really good job with it. FTR, yeah, they're doing well with FTR. I keep on thinking that they should have been done a little bit differently, but they're undefeated in tag matches, which works. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. The women's tag team tournament for the trophy. When I first saw it, I was like, this is an amazing opportunity for them to take Nyla Rose and reheat her. Nyla Rose bumps way too much for the smaller people. I think that pairing her with Vicky Guerrero, putting her in effectively a tag tournament, pairing her up with a strip of cardboard and having her just demolish two girls multiple times would work, and it would bring her back up. Instead, they paired her up with a woman formerly known as Cameron, who has gotten better in the ring, but then they lost to Anna Jay and Tay Conti. If they sign Tay Conti, I think that there's a lot of good things you can do with her. Just a unique look, just a very good style. I think she just hit the E at the wrong time. It's difficult to be like, here's my amazing, unique style. Oh, by the way, we also have Ronda Rousey. Kind of hurts people with an MMA judo style when you've got one of the most world-renowned female MMA judo experts. But instead of it being a way to help get Nyla Rose over, it's a way to get the Nightmare Sisters over. I do like the pairing of Allie and Brandy. I do think that it helps both of them. Because one thing I like is that if you look at their outfits, they wear opposite colors. Brandy was wearing more white. Allie wears more black. I think it works well. Allie is decent in the ring. Brandy needs more time in the ring to be considered really viable. And I think instead of putting Brandy in singles matches, a tag team works. That also helps too. They have QT Marshall on the outside of the ring, who of course is doing a lot of their training. Then you get to physically watch Brandy in the ring to help give her better coaching. And then of course you have Dustin out there too to give almost like live coaching and mentoring. All in all, it's a pretty good idea there. I like the fact that they took on Mel and Penelope Ford. They had a really good pairing. When Penelope Ford, she had Mel as a partner, she was like, I like this. This is good. I mean, you went, I wouldn't mind seeing this pairing continue. Penelope Ford can be someone who runs her mouth very well. And then you've got Mel as effectively like her heavy. And Mel works decently well inside the ring. It did seem odd that you had your two female Haas's in the opening night and they both lost. But, they've got the pieces for a good women's division. They just had to figure out how to actually utilize them. In the absence of Britt Baker being there, Penelope Ford has set up working tremendously. Go back and watch All In and watch how she acts there, and then see how she performs now. Leaps and bounds. So we'll talk a little bit about Raw specifically, Raw Underground. Meh. If you want to do a vastly different take on professional wrestling underground, can we do fixed camera angles? I don't need to see, the Kevin Dunn like throwing a punch, kick. I don't need this like constant zoom in, zoom out. If you want to feel and look different, treat it different. Have it look and feel different. It could be a nice way to get certain people over. Seeing the guy formerly known as Babatunde, I like that. Seeing half of the Viking Raiders, yeah, Show those guys doing something different. Otherwise, it makes no sense. I mean, the Hurt Business taking up towards the end. Okay, I'm cool with that. I don't mind seeing. If you watch that guy took on Bobby Lashley, and he had like the gut wrench power bomb, beautiful, beautiful takedown. And their sequence had some really good, just like long shots, where they showed them, doing some work, and at the same time, just the camera panning back. I was like, oh, a long shot felt so much better than the constant Kevin Dunn jump back and forth. 2-win power trip. Getting kind of tired of it. Like, if you're going to do it, I say go all the way. Have them talking about, was for quarantine, I'd be next UK champion. Do it. Just have all of the belts. Try to go for all of them. It does make, SummerSlam interesting. I would actually have them defend all 3 titles. But I would let them have to decide the order. Would Bayley want to get the tag titles first? Would Bayley not go off the title, not go all off the tag titles? Would Bayley want to go? Okay, we have to do the matches. Okay, I said we do tag, then Sasha you defend, and then that could work really well. But Drew McIntyre, man, he's killing it. I wish there was a crowd to respond to him, not the can crowd. Orton is also doing very well. I mean, they're doing some good work. Now on Raw, with Asuka kind of still doing very well, and now with Shayna Baszler showing up and putting herself in positions, that's good. But they've all been entirely eclipsed by MVP. MVP is literally the MVP of pandemic wrestling right now. His character's coming across really well. Even when he lost his title to Cruz, and he was like, what? The lights were flickering. What's going on? What sort of shop are you running? In the back, MVP. These boxes have fallen over. Boxes? What are you talking about boxes? I was watching Fight. He goes, exactly. Why are we talking? And Russ is like, oh, this box fell over. I don't care what this box fell over. I don't. We heard a noise. This box fell over. So? But all I mean, it's I still enjoy wrestling. It's just really difficult without there being a crowd. It's incredibly difficult. The nice thing with the network, whether it's the day of for the horror show, which I thought was pretty good because it was just Sasha Banks being like, there's no one here. I don't get to have live feedback, so it's just I'm gonna do what I like. Everyone's ratings have taken a big hit. I think we're starting to see the floor of about 1.5 million wrestling fans, which is pretty close to the 1.5 million that we see for NXT and AEW. I will still say I'm still watching Raw, SmackDown. For AEW Dark, I wait till like Thursday night when they keep just the individual matches, and then if I actually feel like watching, then I'll watch it. Still watching all of NXT. NXT is probably the one show on the network. I watch on USA. You're not getting my rating points. It's so easy to watch on the network. It's an hour and a half, and I'm skipping through a little bit here and there when it's here's a recap. No, I saw it on the recap. There's very few recaps on NXT anyways. Or when it's here's don't you want to buy a T-shirt bit. So wrestling is still enjoyable. It's just not as enjoyable because there's no crowd interaction. And you can tell a lot of wrestlers interact better with the crowd. This is also one that if you've had indie experience, you know how to react to a smaller crowd of people. WWE, their women's tag division, Iconics, doing well. I think Royce is getting more of the push. She's put a lot of work. She's got significantly better in the ring. I like it. I wouldn't say the either get found a long game for Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, as well as they kind of fell into it. Montez Ford being poisoned, subtle. And if you didn't notice that, he took a drink and went, he gave a sour face, smelled his cup. But that sequence where it was Charlie talking with Angelo Dawkins, with Garza and Andrade, Zelina, and Bianca, she goes, listen, what did you do? You got one shot. Tell me. I don't know what's going on. Earring. Charlie goes, oh, I'm out. And the EST goes, WDA. Straight on Zelina. I was like, that was good. That was good. It felt very much like a legitimate reaction to someone poisoned my husband, which is an audacious thing you see at a wrestling event. But the way she did it, I was like, good. I want more Bianca Belair. I do. Nia Jax, don't care. Unless they're like, Bianca, yeah. You can KOD Nia Jax? Maybe. Okay, cool. When people show up to a live event again, you will do that. You will put her down. So, still digging things. SmackDown is still pretty good. Man, the Fiend taking out Alexa Bliss was, chef's kiss. Love that. Also helps too with Alexa Bliss is a horror aficionado. So you can tell that she loved that. The look on her face, it's a combination of like excitement and sheer terror. It was beautiful. I really wish had that been in front of a crowd. It's like, would they have booed the Fiend? Would they have cheered the Fiend? Big E going out on his own? Good. But they were smart. It is really nice. Anyway, Kofi's like, I'm off for 6 weeks. Cool. Big E, you got 6 weeks. He gives him time to go. 5 will steal his powder? We'll find out. Do his quarters do well? Back to looking at quarters again now. Does the stuff on YouTube do well? If it does, maybe he goes farther. I mean, they've got some possibilities, and now since the E is at full toss at the wall, see what sticks mode, they could luck into something that's pretty interesting. AEW, lay off the thumbtacks. The skateboard thumbtacks to my man Ricky Stark's back was sick. Watch them roll up, it's like squirting blood. Okay. Like we had it last week with Eddie Kingston, which did a fantastic job. Warhorse, watched the documentary. It helped. I think Cody's doing a good job with this, take on indie guys. It keeps that like a nice, fresh, fun segment. If they get relationships with other companies, would be cool seeing, like EC3 control the narrative on that show. Maybe. Impact is trying to make some good moves. I think there's some nice talent. There's just a lot of things going on right now, and nothing really seems like it seems to stick as much. But it's still enjoyable as long as you allow it to be enjoyable.